thought I'd do something a little bit different. Mostly because I had a pretty damn good game at Chromie, and the last game I played, I kind of got my ass stomped. I try to make sure to upload losses when I do record, just because it's more believable in the... Yeah, you're gonna believe it more if I actually upload losses to you. Oh, he's a little afraid of criticism, he only uploads wins. Haha. Well, anyway. I'm playing me some Chromie today, and I go for a build, a talent at level 11 I usually don't go for, which is swap places with Sand Echo. And you really should take that if you're not landing Qs, because if you don't get that quest completed, that talent is literally worthless. There's almost no talent in the game that has less value. Okay, so we're just doing Chromie things, throwing around, running my spells, trying to get as much value out of the hitting multiple heroes in a chain to pass your quest. I wish people would respect Garrosh, because it's like, okay, you see him, he's gonna walk up to you and throw you. If he's within your auto attack range, then he can walk up to you and throw you. You have to be hyper aware of him just suddenly turning and walking on you. And not only that, but a lot of heroes' auto attack range is right in his Q range, so he can just take a step forward, Q under your feet, and then boom, you're in their team. So it's always something to keep in mind when you're facing Garrosh, is to, if you have any kind of burstable ability like follows Vault, get the frick out of the way. I could have been up closer to start damaging sooner, but really you want to stay at a fairly good range with Chromie. You want to stay far back. And just rain your death down from them. It's harder to hit skill shots at range, but you are so much safer, especially against a freaking Butcher and a Muradin who can lock you down and slaughter you. Oh, a little fun thing happens here in a second. Watch this trap. I don't replace it, so it stays there. Maev goes to push the lane, Butcher goes on her. And she really smartly uses my trap to save her life. That's something that people tend to forget. It's like, that stuff's there isn't just for Chromie. You can use it too if you happen to be positioned. Point it out. Whenever someone does something good, always point it out. It makes them feel good and they play better. Just don't be too quick to jump in their shit when they make a mistake.
Our scouts report that the Horde's keeping some of our soldiers prisoner.
Yeah, Sky Williams calls it swinging that neck, but I ain't about to do that. I gave him a stack of his talent, his baseline quest, for no reason. I'm fairly sure we won all of the objectives in this map. We didn't have to have any of them pushing into us. I'm not placing my traps very well here, I don't think. You want to put them in retreat paths, right? Somewhere where your team is going to go. That way, if someone like Butcher or Muradin is jumping in to come and try to keep you in the fight or kill you, that they hit that trap and then boom, their little attack's been blocked. Got a little out of position there, but I'm going to use it for my benefit. Ran some good old AoE damage. I can't quite see him through there because we don't have vision anymore, so I'm kind of blind throwing my Qs. I could have the baseline talent with their quest stacked earlier, but sometimes it just doesn't happen for you. The better a player is, the more they're going to be dodging your skills. Let's see, at any point, me and Johanna have to back here. But what you're going to see is with swap places with Sand Echo is that I'm going to abuse that to go back to base, refill my mana, and be right back in the fight. You can't get out of bullshit like with Bye Bye, but it's much more effective to heal and be back where you can create value. And if you have to back up a little bit, toss out a Q to get a favorable Sand Echo, you do that instead. See, it's all this stuff. Like, they're so wadded up, I can't even miss. At level 5, I believe it is, I took the talent that reduces the cooldown of W by half, but the damage by only 25%. And I take the talent at level 1 that gives you stacking damage. So, and realistically, Dragon's Fist still has some pretty potent punch to it, but you get it up twice as often, which is very nice. Healing up, back in the fight. Probeast is doing a really good job here, just kind of keeping things neutral instead of just let it seeding that ground. And that's another concept a lot of people tend to miss out on, is zone control. Like, Probeast is really good at controlling the zone just because he has that turret up, and that's free damage. It just automatically dismounts you if you get too close, and it reduces your mobility. If you're stealth and he's smart and takes the quest, it reveals you, so you can't sneak around it. He's doing a really good job keeping that stuff up. Damn, my apologies. This Nova's a bit of a tater, but if I would have uploaded my Nova gameplay that I recorded, you would have seen me miss quite a few snipes for free, so I don't really have any room to talk at all. Here I'm using the Sandstorm just that if they're trying to have a safe block for our objective, that they're gonna have to be super slow. And see, the Butcher can't maneuver without burning his charge. Everything's working out for us. Our team's very durable, and I do a ton of damage. Here you can see me whipping some easy Qs because they back off in a predictable direction, and I'm not throwing it. Sometimes I lose track of my cursor. Just not that good at this game. Healing up, get my mana back, head back out. When you do get the objective, you want to try to back off and stay as safe as possible, because getting the objective gives everybody in it more armor when you're all grouped on the cavalry here. Everything's better. Here the Murden's moving kind of straight, like lots of straight lines. If you notice, I'm positioning it a little bit. Not really seeing the Phoenix. I'm trying to take advantage of the Johanna having all that slow and like brute and stuff like that. Here, I'm using the Sandstorm to secure an escape path because it looks like we might be struggling a bit. But then we just kill the Butcher. And that's just me making everybody die. And here the Chromie, I guess, wants to play. And that's the thing with focusing tanks as a tank. Because most tanks don't have any kind of way to really deal with another tank. The exception is Varian, who has Shield Breaker, which is a talent he can take even if he has some taunt. But realistically, that tankiness only deals with shields. So for someone like Johanna, he can just pop her unstoppable right off of there with Shield Breaker. Now see, I could have realistically picked up that Sandstorm and started rebuilding my mana a little bit. See, you always want to try to kite them through your trap because that's what's going to keep you safe. Plus, it's annoying as hell, and you can't deny it. An annoyed player is going to make bad decisions. That one I was a little surprised it missed. I think I was like 2 away from finishing that talent. I can't remember exactly. The thing is, when you're facing a Chromie, the animation for the Q that pops out in front of her appears in the fog of war, so you can always know just about where she's shooting it. Unless you're in the middle of a lot of shit, she should not be landing her Qs. And that's another thing, is being able to pay attention to multiple things at once. And that's where the real skill of a mobile lies, is you're trying to keep a track of about when things are cooled down, when an enemy's skills are going to come up, when their engage comes up. You know, it's easier to one-on-one in like a solo lane, where you can just like, you can more accurately judge their cooldowns, so that you know it's like, oh hey, this is down for 6 seconds, I've got this much time to move in and really take them out. Here we had both of our waves and both of our camps were going to clash each other, so I was just trying to knock down the camp to give us a little extra push. I don't know where the Nova's getting armor from.
What the Storm Pipe Guard can do.
It's a little strange. Here, just I'm positioning defensively. And it paid off. If I would have got up there and tried to basic attack the Butcher, that Murden would have been up my ass, and then I could have very easily been dead. Here I'm just whipping Q after Q. I'm desperately trying to get... There we go. So I was desperate trying to get this stupid quest done. Alright, so... as you can see, now I'm going to go back and now watch what happens. I wait for my mana bar to fill up. Swap. And I even stay mounted, which is a huge perk. Boom, I'm back in the fight. I'm fresh. I'm ready to go. Don't have to rely on the Urel to heal me. You can heal Chromie. Not the Chromie, the Probius. Really not sure why the Nova didn't persist there, but outside of the Urel being there, she could have got me. If she would have went for me, she could have got me pretty easy. All it would have taken was one snipe. But instead, I get to come back, do the swap again. Yes, the Urel was playing really well too. Keep knocking her back, knocking Garage back into my Sandstorm. There's a lot of smart play from our team this game, which is kind of rare. But I guess the Nova game, I needed it because.
Ready to stop their raiders.
I had a Butcher game right before this, and my Chromie was really meat-headed. So it made it very difficult to accomplish anything. The Chromie would take rewind and then just cast it at random without her skills on cooldown, which you don't do if you take rewind. You know, unless your team has a good follow-up to it. This poor Butcher, he got stacked early, but he just could not kill anybody with it. That's something you got to keep in mind, is you don't want to just solo engage like that. We all folded back, and the enemy team was so worried with our cavalry that we just flat out destroyed the Butcher. go do a cheeky swap in the middle of a fight because you can. Another thing I just thought of, and though I've never used it this way, is that if you can get your Sand Blast to 60 points, get your Sand Echo and take that swap, you can use it a bit like Gul'dan's little 20 talent where he puts down the teleporter, the demonic circle, yeah. You can use it, go up, clear a wave, and then instantly teleport back to where you need to be, because you don't ever have to use your Sand Blast. You don't have to use your Sand Blast to clear waves, or because it doesn't work on minions at all. Alright, we ending. Pretty sure we just ended all right here. This poor butcher. One of the worst things I think you can do is take Furnace Blast on teams that can negate your burst. Like Urel, Joanna could put up her shield. And realistically, I don't think he charged me once. I was probably his best target.
Let's take him.
That's the win. Some things to keep in mind is unless you take the talent at level 2 where your Sand Blast gives you an empowered auto attack, you don't need to be auto attacking enemy heroes.
MVP.
Unless it's just like extra damage and it's totally free, like you've got Urel and Maiev and Johanna in front of you keeping the enemy team busy while you just rain death upon them and get free auto attacks, why not? But don't put yourself in any kind of jeopardy to actually use those. Stay far enough back, like at the tip of the edge of your skills, and just rain it down from very far away. As soon as you see your team, their enemy team coming up to deal with you, you move back, keep your team between them and you, and just rain death. That's all you have to do with Chromie. That's it. Rain death from afar. Anyway, that's been Cheesecake Crush playing Chromie, tips and tricks, other stuff like that. GG's. See y'all next time.